we're going to get attacked. If there's a war in East Asia, and I think it's increasingly probable, it's going to be fought on American soil. This is going to be the first time since the War of 1812 that we Americans will have had a sustained battle with a foreign enemy on American soil. And we are so unprepared.
I'm sitting down with China analyst Gordon Chang.
Ronald Reagan, his policy was that we could not exist with the Soviet Union. Called it an evil empire, worked to get rid of it. And that's not Trump. But we got to remember that the Communist Party believes that it cannot exist with the United States. And we know this from any number of, what they actually say. They declared a quote unquote people's war in a landmark editorial in May 2019 in People's Daily, the most authoritative publication in China. People's war in Communist Party lingo means total war. And we know that they believe that we are an existential threat. And we're an existential threat not because of anything that we say or do, Jan, but because of who we are. An insecure regime in Beijing is worried about the inspirational impact of America's values and form of governance on the Chinese people. So we will never have amicable relations with China as long as the Communist Party rules it. It's either them or us. There's only going to be one survivor. It'll either be the People's Republic of China or the United States of America, not both. I know that's a message that President Trump does not want to hear. I know it's a message that most every American does not want to hear. But if we don't start paying attention to what the Chinese are saying and doing, we're going to lose our country. Remember, we could not have cared less about what Osama bin Laden was saying about us, even after he killed 6 Americans at the bombing of the World Trade Center in 1993. We didn't pay attention until one day he killed 2,977 Americans. And then we said, how did this happen? Well, it happened because we're Americans and we believe that we have every God-given right not to pay attention to what our enemies say. So we better listen up.
You know, it's interesting how you said one survivor, United States or the People's Republic of China. Now, the United States, I think, survives, you know, however it basically this turns out, right? But the People's Republic of China, that is the Communist Party's version of China, not China proper. At least that's right. That's my take on what you said.
Yeah, I said the People's Republic of China, which is the Communist Party. I didn't say China. I said the People's Republic of China. But we've got to pay attention to what our enemies say, because we're going to lose a lot of Americans. And I'm not entirely clear that if we don't pay attention, that we're going to win nonetheless. Yes, we're the far stronger society, but China is the much more malicious political system, and it's willing to do whatever it wants and whatever power it has. So we have an existential crisis. I really worry about this at a point where China is mobilizing for war. It's not mobilizing just its military. It's a general societal mobilization, calling up reservists, taking over civilian factories to make war material, standing up militia units and state enterprises. We've seen these war signals, and we're not responding with the required sense of urgency. So I worry about this moment, and I hope that the way I'd put it is I hope the Almighty protects us.
What is the typical, let's say where someone watching right now is thinking to themselves, wow, Gordon, I agree with you. You know, what does that person do now?
Prepare for the worst. You know, China's infiltrated an unknown number of soldiers and operatives onto our soil. And you know, there's an increased rate of incursions and attempted incursions into our military bases, these illicit drone surveillance, that illegal drug lab, biological weapons facility in Reedley, California, where they had at least 20 pathogens and almost 1,000 mice had been genetically engineered to spread disease. We're going to get attacked. If there's a war in East Asia, and I think it's increasingly probable, it's going to be fought on American soil. This is going to be the first time since the War of 1812 that we Americans will have had a sustained battle with a foreign enemy on American soil. And we are so unprepared.
So basically, you're saying make yourself prepared. But how does the typical person do that?
Stock up. You have to assume that you're not going to get water or food for maybe 6 months. You got to be able to defend yourself. You got to be able to sustain life without anybody's assistance for a very long time.
Well, Gordon, these are, heavy words you're leaving us with, but it's such a pleasure to have had you on.
Well, thank you, Jan.